1 year ago, I was struggling to qualify for any Solo Victory Cash Cup, but come to now, I qualify for many of them. If you want to improve and try to get yourself to qualifying consistently and hopefully making money, then this video is for you. I'm breaking down everything that I do in order to master a drop spot. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first, obviously you have to pick a drop spot. So many people will look at this map and say, well, there's only Rebels, there's only a few other drops on the map. But if you look in, I can turn on landmarks, which Fortnite.gg does this perfectly. Go to Fortnite.gg, I'll link it in the bio. But yeah, click landmarks and now you can see there's so many more where you can get plenty loot. Because all you really need is a shotgun, maybe an AR, and some heals. You can even scavenge for heals. So realistically, all you need is a couple top 10s in the Solo Victory Cash Cup and you can qualify. We're gonna go at this called the Dam Bridge. It's my drop spot, so I'm gonna build through exactly how I'll do it, starting off with spawns. You can obviously turn on everything over here on the left side of the screen. For anything like any tournament, you want chests, buried chests, rare chests, and then bunkers, forecast towers, floor loot, ammo boxes. You can do vending machines and mending machines. I don't really usually do them just because they kind of grief just how it looks. Launch pads, geysers, nitro barrels. This obviously cars aren't in, so drop all the cars. Zip lines kind of just makes things cluttered, and you'll pretty much be able to just make it on the spot. Slurp plants, slurp trucks, slurp barrels, and then if you're in a duos, then reboot vans is good, but for Solo Victory Cash Cup, radio towers, and then that's basically it. This basically shows you exactly what's important or what somebody would really want when they're actually going to want to find a drop. So when I look at this drop, first I see, okay, there's 1, 2, 3 shield plants. Each of them heals for 30, and I know that. So I have 3 shield plants that I can use. I can drop up here, get this shield plant, go loot this, it'll respawn, get this again, jump off, loot down here. There's a bunch of stuff down here that I know of, and then go over here, get this, I'll be at 90 shield. And then I can loot this, come back, grab this again, and I can loot through the rest. Up here, I know that there's slurp barrels, so if I get tagged or if there's somebody that's fighting me, I have slurp barrels up here. And then also I can just tell that like all this is kind of spread out between this building and this building. I know there's kind of just this watery area which I have to avoid, and I know that this is all in a canyon, so you got to be careful. You got to be really aware of people who are around you. So when I drop in, if the battle bus is going from around Classy to Sandy Steps, I usually am scouting for people that are landing up here, people that are landing back here, maybe back here, or even people from Sandy that are coming to W key me, just because I want to make sure, okay, I know that there's going to be a person up here, I got to try to avoid them, do my best. But yeah, you can just kind of do that while in the game. Biggest spot about this is the metal is really good. There's a bunch of these, they're like sewage pumps almost, that have about 40 metal each. So if you farm just 10 of them, you're pretty much max metal, as well as this launch pad. When I jump into a game, you can also see that there's a few fences in here that also give really good metal, so I'll use those. And this launch pad is also really great. So I have basically rotation out of here. I have enough loot, I have enough shield that I can save up any shield that I get out of from looting, which is really key. If you can go out with like 6 med kits or 3 med kits, maybe a nuke, 2 Nuka-Colas, and 6 minis, that's pretty much as perfect as you can get it. But yeah, then launch pad out, I can rotate anywhere. I can rotate up here, I can rotate back here depending on where zone pulls. Say zone pulls all the way up here, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna rotate down here. There's a bunch of launch pads over here that I can look at. If zone pulls all the way down to like Mount Olympus, then I know that I can rotate around here. There'll be a lot of nitro barrels and all that sort of stuff. It's all about map knowledge. You need to know what's around you on the map and what you can use to get from point A to point B. So step number 2 is understanding how to get a good drop, because for each battle bus there's a different place that you have to land. I'll turn off spawns, that way it makes it a little bit less cluttered. But yeah, the battle bus is coming from Sandy Steps to Classy Courts, or Classy Courts to Sandy Steps. You have to have a good drop, that way you can be the first person to get on the chest or the weapon that you're landing on, to ensure that you get the weapon first and you can ultimately kill them. So what I usually go through and do is, if you go up here, you can draw a circle. I can click on the center and just drag outwards, and that's usually about good. It really depends on your drop. Since this is in a canyon, I'll probably go a bit more, just so that it's a bit more careful. I know from past experience and from watching people that right here is one of the drops, as well as right back here. So I know that this is about it. I can basically draw the circle and assume that every low spot is where I want to drop. So I can put a marker here, go over here, draw a marker, put it there. I can just say, we don't even need to put anything there. Put another one there. And there's probably one right here. Another one right there. Another one here. Another one right there. Another one right here. Probably not on the bridge, so I'm gonna maybe try to move this off just a bit. I'll go back here. It's probably another one right around here. And you can go into a game and fine tune it. Otherwise though, this will probably work good enough. You can kind of just guess while you're in the game, because that really helps. What these markers mean though is that's where you want to pull your glider out. So if I'm pulling my glider out at either any of these at the very lowest, then that's perfect. If I'm pulling my glider out like right here, that's not what you want. If I'm pulling my glider out right here, that's not what you want. You want to be pulling your glider out at each of these markers. That way it pulls out and you can glide directly onto, which would be the center right here. There's a chest up here that we can get to. So yeah. But then it becomes, okay, well, if the battle bus is all the way over here, am I going to go for this marker? Well, obviously not. You want to get the battle bus, so I'll draw a path and just say, this is the battle bus right now. It's going from here to here. What's going to be the drop? So if we draw a path from here to here, I think this is going to be that. And then if we draw a path from here to here, that's a path. So now we can look at this and kind of judge, okay, which one's longer? Well, this is a longer side. This one's shorter. You're going to want to jump about here to make it the shortest length to the closest drop. So then you're going to jump. You're going to angle towards here. If you can, pull your glider directly on this mark, and then you'll land right here. Again, don't do this. I'll delete these because we don't really need them anymore. We can do another example. Say the battle bus is going from here to here. We can kind of assume, okay, where's it going to be? Gonna look, all right, the closest drop is either this one or this one. I think I'm gonna go with this one just because it's further. The battle bus is coming this way, down and to the left. This is gonna be the drop. So I'm gonna want to make sure I draw a path as direct as I can. So I'll probably jump out of the battle bus right here and go here. That's only 123 meters, as you can see. If I were to jump out though from here, it's 232. See the difference? That's a really big difference that can lose you seconds, which is key in a fight. All right, so we're gonna do a few examples of where the zone's gonna pull. Say that this is third zone. It pulls about up here. This is not nearly accurate, but we landed all the way down here. How are we gonna get to that? Well, number one thing for me is that I understand, okay, there's a bunch of green up here. That way we can get and use the dashes. So I want to try to get up to here as best as I can. But people are going to be coming from anywhere from over near Classy So I always try to rotate on what's called the dead side. If you guys aren't aware what the dead side is, basically means that people from Classy Courts are going to be rotating here. Grand Glacier, Reckless, they're all going to be rotating into this area. So my game plan when I'm really stacked is, can I get to the dead side as quickly as possible, which will most likely be over here near Underworld, because people are just going to have landed at Rebels and Underworld, and they're going to be the only people there. There's going to be 3 teams, whereas there's going to be probably about 20 teams over here, 20 or 30 teams over here, which is going to be so much harder to rotate if there's people just shooting at you from every place. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this launch pad from my drop spot. I'm going to get up to here, which I'll have these 2 nitro barrels. I'll get 1 nitro barrel, go up to this launch pad, probably the launch pad from here directly over to this launch pad, or from this launch pad over to this flaming ring. Really depends on what I want to get to or how the fighting's going. But most likely I'll just hit this launch pad all the way to here, and then from there I'm pretty much getting this dashes, and I can dash down here all the way, hit this, dash again, dash up this river, all the way like that. That'll probably take maybe 2 minutes of constant moving, and you'll be into a spot where you can sit there for 20 minutes and have nobody shooting at you for once. So that's my rotates out of here. And yeah, that's going to sum it up though, because basically from there on it's a mid game, which I'll break down my mid game so much more in the next video, which is going to be coming out in 2 days. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.